Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Liz of Chicago Law Luxury Makeup. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the brand new Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Concealer. I picked up 2 shades from Nordstrom and I have been using them for the past week. So I do have some thoughts. I thought I would go ahead and apply them, show you how they apply, what I like about them, and then compare them to some other concealers that I have in my collection. So to start off with, we're going to take a look at the packaging. This is how they come. Like I said, I picked up 2 of them. I got them both from Nordstrom. They do come in the standard Tom Ford brown and gold packaging. And the shades that I picked up are 1C0 Silk. It comes in a soft matte packaging. And the other shade that I picked up is 3C0 Tulle. On the Nordstrom website, once you go to your shade, there is a chart to tell you what foundation you're wearing in Tom Ford and how that would correlate to what shade concealer you should wear. So for my winter and my summer shade in the Tom Ford foundations, I was 3C0 Tulle. However, I did also want one that was just a little bit more brightening, so I did go 1 shade lower, and that's why I picked up the 1C0 Silk. So I thought I would go ahead and read from the website a little bit what it says, you know, what is special about this concealer, and then we would apply it and I'll show you how it looks on my skin. So what it is, this is a skin infused stick formula that hydrates skin while also providing buildable coverage with a seamless soft matte finish. For the description as to what it does, it is a concealer that melds a hydrating skincare ingredient with imperfection blurring makeup technology. The formula features hyaluronic acid for a instant 12-hour hydration, spherical powders to ensure silky, smooth, seamless application for comfortable, non-drying wear. Hyaluronic acid plumps skin through moisture, reducing the look of lines immediately and over time. Vitamin E provides antioxidant protection for the skin. The soft focus powder offers a natural soft matte finish. It claims to be waterproof, transfer, sweat, humidity resistant, non-caking, non-poring, and crease resistant. It says that you can use it to spot conceal or for larger areas of your face. So I do believe most of what they are saying. I really, like I said, I've been wearing this for the past week. I've worn it every single day. I do really like this concealer. I think it is very, as it describes, a very soft matte formula. It is very creamy. Very creamy. It blends beautifully. I did not notice any creasing over the time. I haven't really tried to build it up too much, so I can't say if it's buildable. I do think that it does look very pretty. So I already have on my foundation. I'm just ready to put the concealer on. So I'm going to apply one on each side so you can see the 3C0 Tulle, which really is a perfect match for my skin. I mean, when I put it on, you're not really even going to be able to see it. It's that perfect of a match. And then we'll try the Silk on the other eye and you can see how it works as a brightening concealer. And then when we're done, I will go ahead and we'll do arm swatches of other concealers and kind of blend them to compare, just so I can kind of show you how creamy it is. I do have other stick concealers. With other stick concealers, I do feel that they are a little bit harder to blend. These are not. This is so easy to blend. So we're going to start with 3C0 Tulle. So this is what it looks like once it's out of the packaging. And let me just show you just on my hand. So it blends really effortlessly. Now, Tom Ford obviously recommends using their concealer brush. I do have their concealer brush. I think it's a little bit small for me. I prefer something a little bit bigger, so I am actually going to use the Sonia G Jumbo Concealer. So for my left eye, I will take 3C0 Tulle. So there it is applied, and I will quickly blend because it doesn't take any time. It's so creamy. So there it is blended down. I can't even see it. It's like a perfect match for me. So I am going to build it up just a little bit because they do claim that it is buildable. So I'm going to see what happens if I add just a little bit more and go in and tap a little bit more. I really, really like that. I think that that actually did build up really, really nicely. So this is 3C0 tulle. I will take 1C0 silk. And that's what that looks like. And then if I were to swatch it next to it, you can see that it is definitely a lot lighter. I did wipe my brush off in between. I'm going to take that same Sonia G Soft Concealer to blend. So you can see that the 1C0 silk is a little bit lighter than my skin. But again, I will just go in and blend. So you can see that it does lighten the area under my eyes. For consistency purposes, I will go back in, add just a little bit more to build that side up as well. Scoot in as much as I possibly can so you can see my under eyes. I don't find that there is any creasing. It says that it's a soft matte formula. I don't see that it being overly matte. It's definitely not drying. Like I said, it is so, so creamy. It blends beautifully with the brush. I really, really have been enjoying it. I would say that it gives a medium coverage. It's definitely not full coverage in my opinion, but I think that it is a perfect everyday concealer. Now I do have multiple other concealers, so I want to swatch those for you. All right, so I wiped all the concealer off on my arm so we can start with a fresh arm. I'm just going to use one shade of the concealer. I use the 3C0 tulle. All right, so we're going to go ahead and I will start with arm swatches and I will blend them so you can see the difference once they're blended out. So I'm going to start with this Tom Ford. This is the brand new Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte. So that is how it blended down. You can see it was very, very easy. Now the next concealer that I'm going to try it up against is the Clé de Peau, the concealer. I got multiple requests to compare it to the Clé de Peau. And I have to say the Clé de Peau is thicker. It is a lot thicker. I would not say that they are similar at all. So you can see it's a little bit harder to blend the Clé de Peau. I would say you get more coverage with the Clé de Peau, but again, I mean, it is thicker. I don't think that they are similar at all. I really, really don't. And I wore these two in comparison side by side multiple times so that I could see, you know, if there was really a difference. Once they're applied and once they blend down, it's really hard to say which one looks better, honestly. But in terms of application and ease, I think the Tom Ford is easier to apply. The Clé de Peau is going to give me more coverage. I don't like one more than the other. I like them both. I can see myself reaching for both of them, but they are different. I don't consider them to be very similar at all. But that's my opinion. You know, others may say completely the opposite, but the Tom Ford is definitely a thinner consistency and it shears down more. You can even see as I continue to blend, it kind of, the color kind of goes away. The Clé de Peau does not. The Clé de Peau is much thicker and it's going to give you more coverage. Depending on the texture underneath your eyes, you may want one more than the other. If you've got a lot of dark circles or you're really trying to hide something, you may want a more fuller coverage and the Clé de Peau may work for you. If your under eyes are very dry and you need something a lot softer and a lot creamier, the Tom Ford may work for you. The other comparison that I got asked about is the La Prairie, the concealer that's on top of their foundation. This is another really thick concealer that I think is very similar to the Clé de Peau in that I like to warm it up with my fingers before applying it. So here is the La Prairie, and you can see it's So it is a lot thicker. I think it's even thicker than the Clé de Peau. And again, it's going to be more coverage than the Tom Ford. Not everybody is going to want the same thing in a concealer, and you may not want the same thing the same day. You know, like one day you may want more coverage than the next day. So it's all depending on how your skin is reacting, how your face is looking, and what your needs are for that day. The other concealer that I was requested to try it up against is the new Chanel Sublimage. I did try these on side by side. Again, I also don't think that these are very similar. This is more of a cream. I would even say that this is like a liquid. It's completely different formula, completely different texture. It does have skincare in it. It is very, very hydrating, but again, very, very different. On this arm, I've got the Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte. I've got the Clé de Peau, the concealer. This is the La Prairie concealer on top of their foundation. And then this is the Chanel. So out of coverage, you can see that the Tom Ford is definitely the lightest. But it is buildable. And I found that building it up did not disrupt anything and did not make it patchy. So now I thought I would compare it up against some of the other Tom Ford concealers that I have in my collection. So I'll do that on the other side of my arm. So I'll start again with the Traceless Soft Matte. And then I have this one right here. This is the Emotion Proof Concealer. And I have shade 5.0 Beige. I don't wear this one that much, and I probably should declutter this one because I really don't reach for it anymore. But I really liked this concealer. I thought it was very hydrating. It didn't dry out my under eyes. It did not give me a lot of coverage, which is something that which is the reason I didn't reach for it that often. But I really did like it. I had no issues with it. Last year or the year before, Tom Ford came out with the Shade and Illuminate concealer, and this is in shade 2WO Beige. So again, very different. This is clearly my summer shade, but it is definitely more coverage than this new one. So those are my comparisons. Let me know if there's any other comparisons you'd like me to do. I'm happy to do those. I intend on doing some shorts in the next coming weeks where I will be applying the different concealers side by side so that you can visually see how they appear on the eye. I thought that would be the best way to show you the different concealers, as I will actually apply them, show them to you in just a quick video format. So that's what I'm going to do in the upcoming weeks. But for today's video, I just wanted to show you how it applied on the eyes, and then how swatch comparison to some of the other concealers in my collection. I am going to go in right now and powder underneath my eyes so you can see how the concealer looks after being powdered, if it changes the consistency at all, or if there's any creasing or anything like that. I'm going to use the Westman Atelier powder, and I'm going to go in with the BK Beauty 108. So I'll just pick up a little bit and then just apply it under the eyes. Now, I do apologize for my voice, you guys. I don't know. This winter has just not been good to me. So I got sick a week ago, and I've been fighting off this cold, and it just won't go away, and I'm trying. But I wanted to get this video up, so my voice probably sounds a little bit off, and that is why. But it's been a week, like literally a full week, and you know, what can you do? So my under eyes are powdered. I don't notice any difference really at all. I think that they both look really, really nice. And that is consistent with how it's been wearing for the past week. I really, really haven't noticed any issues whatsoever. And like I said, I really have been impressed. The concealer retails for $60 here in the US. It is $48 on the Selfridges website. I will link down below both websites so that depending on You know, if you have the Selfridges global shipping, it might be a better option for you to get it from there. But they do have it at Nordstrom as well, which is, you know, like I said, where I picked mine up at. I really, really like it. I think it is a beautiful everyday concealer. Now, there are days where I might want a little bit more coverage and I will reach for a different concealer. But overall, for an everyday concealer, I really have been enjoying it. So I would love to hear from you guys what your thoughts are if you plan on picking this up. Let me know if you want any specific comparisons. And like I said, I will do those in my shorts in the upcoming weeks, just comparing them side by side. But overall, for the price point and for the quality of the concealer, I am really, really happy and I'm really enjoying it, and I do recommend it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.